Today we're looking at the 5 biggest standing jumps in parkour history. Now when people think of parkour, they often think of fast-paced jumps and crazy flips. But the athletes in this video have pushed themselves to their absolute limits without the help of any kind of run-up or additional momentum. Just pure strength, technique, and incredible self-belief. Now, I've already made a video about the biggest running jumps ever done, but these jumps are not only the biggest, but also the scariest and most dangerous standing jumps ever accomplished. And the first jump on this list, I can guarantee that more than 99% of the people watching this video have never seen. All the way back in 2012 in Barcelona, Eloy hit what is still to this day the nastiest rail jump ever attempted. This is by far the most ahead of its time jump on this list. 2012 was the same year that Stunts Amazing dropped that famous World's Best Parkour and Freerunning compilation, which has racked up over 130 million views. But if you compare the stuff in that video to what people are doing now, they look like beginners. But almost everything in that 2012 video by Eloy was up to today's standard, which is incredible when you consider that he'd only been training for 4 years. Eloy makes a strong case for Spain being the best country in the world for parkour, and although he never promoted himself enough to be considered one of the great Spanish athletes like Schiffer or Cosman from Team Watt, his jump has certainly stood the test of time. He even came back 7 years later in 2019 and did it again. Eloy's last Instagram post was in 2021, so it looks like he may have moved on from the sport. But even if that's the case, he'll always be a legend in my book. The next jump on this list comes from the Latvian-born German legend Endjis Miscenko. The strength, impeccable technique, and ankle flexibility to not only absorb that much impact, but perfectly stick it on the rail makes this one of the most impressive things I have ever seen. Endjis did this at the World's Parkour Family Camp in Basel, Switzerland in 2018 and was on an absolute tear at the time, doing some incredible conventional parkour movements which had him cemented as the king of parkour sticks. His unique style, where he always managed to keep a low center of gravity, combined with his incredibly good dorsiflexion, likely from his Latvian heritage, put him head and shoulders above the crowd throughout the 2010s. However, the next athlete on our list is the only other person to ever attempt that jump. Now he didn't quite manage to stick that jump, so Endjis still has that one on him. But when Endjis took some time away from the sport in 2021, Marcio Felipe took over his mantle as the king of sticks. Hailing from Porto, Portugal, Marcio kept doing crazier and crazier high impact sticks until he finally found his limit with this monster standing jump, which was unquestionably his biggest.
Nice, graças!
This is without a doubt the biggest standing jump that anyone has ever stuck. Taking all that impact straight into your ankles simply shouldn't be possible. But for Marcio, I guess it is. Also, apparently he did it on the first try, which is just ridiculous because the information you gain from doing it once and overshooting it is usually the thing that helps you dial it in for the stick. So doing it first time shows a true mastery of his craft. Marcio reigned supreme as the king of parkour sticks for a few years, while also becoming very comfortable with high-up challenges, until one day in 2023, he suffered a tragic accident. Now, I'm not sure exactly how, but he fell off this extremely high dam, which he often filmed clips on, and very nearly died. If you don't do parkour, you might think that this is quite common. It's not. Injuries are fairly common, but I don't personally know anyone that's died from parkour, and serious accidents like this are extremely rare. Marcio has been recovering for a couple of years and is thankfully back doing some parkour now, but he still has a long way to go before he's back to pushing the limits of the human body. The next jump on this list is what you really came to see. It's high up, it's extremely far, and he only just makes it. The Swiss legend Guillaume Larrazabal from Geneva had been looking at this insane jump for years and finally did it for his standout 2022 video, Mucho Relaxo. The main thing that makes this jump so dangerous is of course the height, but not for the reason that you may think. High-level parkour athletes like Guy have an extremely accurate gauge of how far they can jump. However, with a standing jump, you don't have as much momentum, and so when you take it more than a couple of meters above the landing, there's a very sudden cutoff where you stop going forward and just start to drop. This sandpile jump by Storror is a perfect example.
Yes, mate! Nice, mate!
I'm too close to come.
Oh my god, that was pretty fucking close.
Oh my god.
Not gonna lie, he was a little bit further back than we thought there.
Both Max and Benj only just made it to the sand pile and were surprised they didn't go further. And that's due to this sudden drop off in momentum that occurs in big standing jumps with a large drop. And this only comes as such a surprise because parkour athletes rarely train max standing jumps from these kind of heights, as it's extremely hard to find a place to do it. Also, when a truly groundbreaking move is done in a big, well thought out video, it does always bang just that little bit more. And although this jump might have been the highlight of the video, the whole piece is incredible. 10 minutes of well-filmed, top-level parkour put to great music. This is easily one of the best parkour videos of the last decade. Mucho Relaxo was even nominated for the 2022 Storror One Man Army Award, and I thought it was going to win, but it ended up losing out to Valtteri's Forever Incomplete, which was also fantastic. However, he did impress the Storrors enough to get invited to the Storror Stick Masters in 2024, where he put on a good showing for Switzerland. For the final jump on our list, we head over to Mannheim, Germany, where an Austrian gentleman by the name of Dominik Fichtenbauer did what I believe is the largest and most impressive standing jump ever done.
3, 2, 1, Full set.
Rein da!
Ah!
Komm!
Ja! Ah! Ich komm.
Over 5 meters across, 3 meters high, a devastating drop below, and he only just makes it. This is truly one of the most perfect jumps ever done. Now, I was lucky enough to witness this firsthand, and I even filmed this clip myself. But what was really fascinating was watching his process of preparing for the jump. He got up there for the first time and said he felt like he could do it straight away, but he was very aware of that drop off I spoke of earlier and wanted to do his due diligence and make sure that his confidence wasn't, as he put it, an illusion.
Das muss gehen eigentlich. Weißt du, dass bei diesen Höhen ist immer so eine Mini-Illusion. Es ist auf jeden Fall schwieriger als es aussieht.
He did loads of jumps as preps for almost 2 hours before deciding that he would definitely make it. And he did, but only just. I think even he was surprised by how fine of a margin it was in the end.
Danke, Digga, Mann. Alter, das Herrenhappen vorhin, das war's. Da war ich kurz wach und dachte mir, Alter, ihr habt's recht.
Now you might think that because I was there, I'm a bit biased putting this as number 1 on the list. And it is a very similar jump to Guy's in terms of height, consequence, and landing right on your limit. But I do think that Domi's one was just a bit harder because Domi is the larger, physically stronger athlete, and he was perhaps even closer to not making it than Guy was, making it his true maximum jump. But regardless, both of these guys pushed themselves to their absolute limits, and these are undoubtedly 2 of the greatest jumps in parkour history. Now there is one more athlete I have to mention because he has without a doubt the largest standing jump in the sport. It is of course Orlando Devaux. He's got some serious springs in those legs, and honestly, I think he's got at least half a foot in standing jump on every other parkour athlete on the planet. Now, the only reason that he hasn't made the list is because he doesn't seem to have one that stands out from the rest, that's a massive size and also has serious consequence. But he's still the man to watch if you want to see the biggest standing jumps that humans are capable of. Also, just to give you some context, Orlando can jump about 12 of his feet on flat, which when you take into account the rubber in his shoes, equates to about 3 3.5 meters. And the broad jump world record is 3 meters and 73 centimeters. So he's really not that far off having the actual biggest jump in the world. Anyway, what do you guys think of all these? Are they as impressive as the big running jumps I've covered previously? Did you even know people could jump this far? Let me know in the comments. Also, please subscribe for more videos like this, and let me know if there are any topics you want me to cover in a future video. Until next time, cheers.
Mad as savage in me back and I'm back in it happening, ready to blow. I remember doing deeds with Endjis from the street, they left me on my own. Monkey asking me about how I got the P, I told her leave him on my grow. Then they're ringing off my phone, then they're ringing off my phone.